for joining us once again for another exciting one that will educate you. One more episode of SISTA TALK, and my name is Nenoh, Ndiema. It's a pleasure having you. The many times you have gone back on YouTube, on Facebook to watch us, we are so grateful. In case you're joining us for the first time, this is SISTA TALK and we're on Elevate TV. You can follow us on all our social media handles at Elevate TV Kenya. Just feel free to join us and let's keep talking. Give us your feedback, your opinions. We'll be so glad to hear from you. So today we have an exciting episode. It's actually one that you need to listen to because we need to know. You know, my people perish for lack of knowledge. This is one of the areas, and it is family law. We need to know, what do we need to know as parents? What do we need to know as family? Why should we have this topic as one that we can discuss as women, as sisters, as mothers, and as friends? So welcome and thank you for joining us. We have an amazing guest. I'll allow her to introduce herself so I don't do injustice. You know, I told you we're talking about law. Welcome to the show, Anne.
Thank you, Nenoh.
Yes, kindly introduce yourself to us.
Mbugua is my name.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a family law practitioner.
Okay.
But I also do other things in the area of law, commercial litigation, land and environment matters, and a lot of mediation.
Wow.
And mediation comes in because family law will be very difficult if people don't talk.
Really?
Yes. So it's interesting that the lawyers now are also encouraging their clients to talk.
Really?
A bit disappointing because if you come to a lawyer, you want a fight. But yes, we say, hold on, let's see whether we can talk.
Wow.
I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 2 girls.
Wow.
So, and I'm from these families of 9 children, you know. And I'm number 9.
Wow, you're the last boy.
Yes, so I grew up with family on this side, family on that side. Meal time is, you know, scrub and partition of the meal because there are many people. But that's the beauty now of the African family or a big family.
Wow.
I'm also involved in advocacy on the area of family. Special focus on the right to life, the family, religious freedom, governance, and value-based education.
Wow.
I do that under the Kenya Christian Professionals Forum, Africa Christian Professionals Forum. And then, Nenoh, I'm also a farmer.
How many hats do you wear?
We have to eat. Even after coming from court, we're hungry, we have to eat.
You have to eat.
So I'm a farmer, I'm an organic farmer. I grow, it's mixed farming, but right now the passion is in, you know, the traditional greens.
Wow.
Yeah, tok murenda.
Yes.
And saga.
Yes.
And managu.
Yes.
You know, those things.
That's what you enjoy doing.
I enjoy it, and that's what I do at least once in a week.
Really?
So I'm also called Mama Mboga. So Mama Mboga.
Nice one.
Yeah.
From court to Mama Mboga.
Yeah, Thursday is all about tying and checking the sizes of the bunches. You'll be surprised how Kenyans really weigh the bunch.
Yes.
Na mkono tu, they don't need ratiri.
Mekonda.
Hii mambo ya ugali si mchezo. So it's saga has to be, you know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, grams. It's never kg.
No.
It's a gram. So
And we know.
that is something I do. I believe we are eating a lot of poison. We need to drift to organic farming.
Yes.
You can imagine the amount of ugali we eat, and it's accompanied by mboga. So if you eat mboga 3 times a week, and the mboga is sprayed with some synthetic, dangerous pesticides, how much of it do you consume? So that's a little bit.
And ugali is such a staple food. Now that you're saying it, I'm even getting hungry. I think we need to have you back to just tell us a bit more about organic farming.
Yes, I was afraid that you'd say about ugali. No. Because I'm not an expert in that. I am looking for someone to teach me how to make murenda very well and saga, because those ones beat the people from the community where I come from.
But at least you got the growing it right.
Well, I'm growing it. I'm desiring it. I hear it has medicinal values. But I'm not yet trained in that, so someone can send me.
Feel free.
I hope you can help me, by the way.
After the show.
Okay.
After the show we can try.
All right.
Welcome. I mean, I'm just listening to you and I'm like, there's a lot of family in your speech. You know, there's family advocacy, there's family law, there's all that. How did you get yourself interested in, or how did you get yourself in that area of specialization?
You know, I was in the old system.
Okay.
You know, before 844, there was another system.
Where? Inform me. I'm an 844 myself. 7-2 something.
Yeah, and when we were growing up, I don't think many of us were sat down by anyone to really analyze what we are good at, whether we should go for law, we should go for medicine.
True.
Of course, we had a career person once in a while. But, you know, the deep one where you analyze, is she artist, is she scientist, is she, you know. So for me, it's just finding myself drifting to anything to do with justice.
Interesting.
Yes, and it started in the village where you start feeling, that's unjust. You see, I wish I could do something about it. And then I started hearing, if you get these grades, you can do law.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you follow that route. You know, you don't ask many people. So when the forms come, Jaza law. And now you fight for the grades. It's just by God's grace that I made it.
Wow.
Then I joined the law after, of course, Nairobi University. And the law firm I joined was doing family law.
Okay.
So I found myself there. But it didn't take long for me to realize family law can be tiring. Because it's about people.
Yes,
it's about people's
true.
lives. It's about how they spend the night. So you'll get many calls in the evening. It can be how they spend the day, so you can get the calls in the evening. So you don't have a lot of, you know, you don't have liberty to say, sorry, let's talk tomorrow, because it could be there's a fight.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes a family lawyer looks like a policeman or policewoman.
Who's on duty 24/7.
24/7. So by the time I got to 2000, I was quite tired.
Really?
Yes, and I had many lady clients. And I think because of the level of women empowerment, more women then were victims. So evictions. Nisikukute huku leo.
When I come back in the evening.
Yeah. Or situations of school fees is not paid. You know, those kind of scenarios. Or the matrimonial home was charged. You didn't know. We didn't even have that land law that said you cannot charge without the consent of a spouse. So auctioneers have come and the lady is in the dark. So it was a lot of firefighting. But come 2000, I thought, now it's time to change.
Really?
I have to exit family law. Then I thought maybe acting for men is easier, you know? Yeah. I'll be on the side of the...
You're a woman, but you'd rather...
And for sure they came. So I got quite a number of male clientele.
Interesting.
And I realized actually acting for the man gives you in most cases, because you see, even in our constitution has put women among the vulnerable groups. So you find when you're acting for a man, there's some strength. Though things are changing, I can tell you, society is changing.
Interesting.
But yeah, but now I started, you now start being on the side of, oh, someone want to evict, or someone has been caught in adultery, or someone. So your client now started changing, you know. So, but by and by you realize the challenges in family are not gender, you know, they are not just based on person's gender.
Yeah.
It is in human nature. It's selfishness, it is shoving, it is, you know, sin.
In one word.
You know. So by and by you realize it's a ministry, it's a place of ministry. But it's also a place where you have to have, we were not trained in, what is it called? Positive thinking, motivational speaking, counseling.
Yeah.
We've done all that.
All that.
We do all that.
So for you, a typical day can start from counseling to arbitration to mediation to...
Yeah, and to a real fight.
Wow.
We also do real fight because it's what is needed. You see, it goes with the circumstances of the case. Wow. There's some cases where you need court orders, and you need the court orders today.
Wow.
But there are cases where you need to sit and talk or use other ways either mediation or negotiations. So that is my, how I came into family law. Then when I now reached 2015 or so, it's like, okay, this is my lot.
Your inheritance is good. This is it.
I've tried to run away. It hasn't worked. Yeah, but you realize you cannot deal with family matters the way you deal with commercial matters, because I do both. You have to keep switching. You're dealing with people who are hurting. You're dealing with people who are carrying a lot of emotional load. And some of them, maybe they just want to empty it. Yet you are not a counselor, and you may not have time for counseling.
Yeah.
So you now learn how to go about it. Sometimes we work with professional counselors, so you refer some to professional counselors. But that is how I got involved in family law. Is there any regret? No.
That's what you'll do for life, say.
I hear someone should retire early.
You don't look like you're about to.
Because people no longer retire to die.
Yeah,
they retired to, it's more like redeployment. True. Like if today I'm asked to retire to farming, I'll be happy. I know I'll be quite broke.
We'll buy them, guys, we promise.
I think I'll be so happy, you know, just waking up with, you know, take a pickup and, or a van and run to the farm. Yeah. It will be exciting. Or I hear you should reach a stage in your life where now you do the things you like, not out of duty. Yeah. So I won't say how long I'll be here. Yeah. As long as God gives me the strength, I deal with it. I think with time you cut on what you're able to do. Maybe, not maybe, I know my passion is mediation.
Wow, really?
Ongea.
In all this?
Tuonge.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would almost tell all your clients to onge kwanza.
We always start with ongea.
Except the urgent ones.
Except those ones. But we always evaluate, is this a case where we should talk? You know why? Because many people started cases out of anger. But with time, the anger goes down. Or you start appreciating the other perspective. Or that is where she was coming from. That's where he was coming from. And then remember, this is family. We have children in most of these families. So it's not, you know, the way you quickly wash your hands, take your bag and walk away, forget it.
For sure.
It's not like that. When we say marriage is a mystery, and for those who are not married, because of some of the family cases we do with our children, you know, between people who are never married, even getting a child with a person, my goodness, it is not, you can take it face value, but it goes deep. So no, these are not things that, you know, you can severe and, you know, I'm done.
Wash your hands.
No. This is your life. This is what you live in. Yeah. So you can't just subject these family issues to judicial processes where you are able to retreat and let the parties take charge of their situation, because it is their situation. First of all, own it, take charge, and then resolve. Most importantly, nobody understands your landscape than yourself.
That's true.
So you meet, and judges do their best. And family law, I believe, we are given judicial officers who have a heart for the family. Otherwise, they would also get very tired.
That's
it's
true.
A lot of work. So you find that you can appear before someone who just makes a decision. Just take, for example, succession course. I can share out 2 acres of land on paper, but how is it on the ground?
Yeah.
It could be where you've been farming, and you know now we are farming avocado, we are farming, where you planted your 200 trees of avocado, it's just the land I'm given. So, but it's mine, the court has given me. But if we sat and talked, we'll agree, oh, umepanda nini? Basi chukua ile. Na wewe ulijenga kanyumba, uko side hii. Tuone vile tunaweza kata, ndio shamba ingie, ino nyumba ingie kwako. You know your landscape better. So you are the best judge of your course. But of course, most importantly, you see, when we share that land, unless you sell your land, the guy you've been fighting is your neighbor. Who doesn't need a good neighbor? Who doesn't need a good neighbor? And you can imagine the pain of living with someone you fight in your heart every day
Yeah.
with, you know.
Yeah.
As you come out of your gate,
There you meet them.
anakuja.
That's true.
Roho inachafuka.
Yeah.
How long can you live with that? But if we talked, first of all, you download a lot.
That's true.
Then we come up with an arrangement that actually factors our landscape.
That's true.
By the time we reach a consent, we at least are in talking time. We may not hug, and you don't have to live hugging everybody, but at least we have a working relationship. Or some cordial.
Yeah. You know, you're reminding me of the scripture in the Bible that says we've been given the ministry of reconciliation. I think God knew that man, it says as much as possible, live at peace
with all men.
Yeah. It's as much as.
Does it mean you read people's minds?
Did I pull a scripture out of your mind?
Because I was about to tell you the scriptures that we follow in this ministry.
Hallelujah.
Number 1, as far as it depends on you,
wonderful,
live at peace
there
with
we go.
all men.
There we go.
As far as it depends on you, which means God knows sometimes it does not depend on you. And then blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed. It's my scripture for this one.
That's for sure.
For they shall be called the children of God. Imagine. It's wonderful to be called the child of God. Yeah. And then the last one, and I hope it doesn't escape before, you know. Whatever happens, conduct yourself in a manner worthy of the gospel. Because if it's something that tries you, these family relationships, they try you. When you got married, I'm sure you thought, since I'm spirit-filled, you know, you are, you can handle kila kitu. You'll be kind to everyone. Whatever anyone brings, in-laws, everybody, you know,
you'll be fine.
It's in the Holy Spirit.
Hallelujah.
What is your experience? It's my turn to ask you a question. I'll pass that.
But now that you've mentioned the Bible and, you know, clearly you're a believer, how easy is it to put together your practice, or is it, yes, your practice, and now your faith? Do they sometimes conflict? Are there instances where you have to first put aside the heart of, you know, the believer in you, or do you always try and see how, you know, the law and your Christianity can, or they don't even conflict? I don't know. You get my question.
I told you, we're talking about family law.
Yeah.
And family is instituted by God.
Yes.
So this is something which is very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And it also means this is in the center of God's focus.
That's true.
So promoting good family values is really in tandem with the gospel.
That's true.
100%. For example, if I'm acting for the widow, it's easy for me.
For sure.
Why? The Lord guards the boundaries of the widow. So I know I'm on the Lord's side. But if I'm acting against a widow, I'll be quick to I have to be very careful that I do not push the boundary of the widow, because I'll be fighting the Lord, because the Lord is husband to the widow. So the point is, what is my goal as a family lawyer? Is it to win or to do justice? If your goal is to win, you will do anything to win. Even if I hide the file, or if you can't hide it, do anything, because your goal is to win. When I started practicing, I thought, oh, we have to win, we have to win. Then I just realized, maybe sometimes, in some cases, especially family matters, maybe it's win-win.
Really?
Not winner take all. So when you realize that, then you approach family matters, and I'm answering your question. Is there a conflict? There isn't really a conflict. And that's why I think I still push for mediation.
Wow.
Because it's in mediation that you're able to get a win-win. That doesn't mean people cede their rights, but it simply means people look at their circumstances and they ask themselves several questions. One, what is the most important thing? For example, if it's a children's matter, and I just win, so I'm given custody of the children.
That's true.
And I run with the custody, and the man shall never see the children. Have you won?
Not quite.
You haven't won. Because by nature, children need both parents.
That's true.
So this winning is not winning. It is, you could call it a win on paper, but long term, it's a loss.
That's true.
Maybe win could be where both parties work out an arrangement where both are in the lives of the children and they are stabilizing factors, not destabilizing factors. So that is how I look at it. It is, for family, is win-win. In fact, if you look at most court judgments on family matters, each party bears their own costs. Which means even the judiciary itself appreciates these family matters is more win-win.
Yeah.
So when you are there, then you find there is not much, there is in conflict with the faith.
That's true.
Because the faith is about fairness
That's
and
true.
justice.
Yes.
Yes. So that is how I conclude this. But it always helps to throw people's eyes several decades down the road. Let's talk about custody, because this is where we really have big fights. If we are fighting over kids who are 3 years, and we are going to parent for life.
True.
As long as God gives us breath, ni mama na baba ya huyo mtoto. Now graduations are starting early. They graduate in, yes. So there is a day we are going to have to go together to cheer. Swimming gala is coming. The child doesn't look for one. Real. The child checks, is mommy here? Is daddy here? So we have to be there. Mtoto sometimes get sick. And what happens? We have to sign forms, surgery or no surgery. So how can you be working with your enemy in this kind of a journey? It is not possible. No. Let's go all the way to the wedding. Who will give this lady to this man? There are so many fights. You'll be shocked how marriages bring fights in these families that are struggling. First of all, which home should we go to? I mean, which is my home? Because there is where dad stays and where mom stays. That is fight number one. Then who is in charge? Should dad now enforce his right, though he's been absent for those few who are absent? Now he's the one, he has to do the negotiations. So when you look at the situation, you have a long journey to be together. So these questions you have to ask yourself. Am I going to do this for this long with someone you're fighting? That's true. And then what do you need in life? If you're asking yourselves the questions. If it's succession costs, must I get a billion to have won and to be happy? Maybe the question, what do you need in life, could help you now minimize your demands or greed. Sometimes it's greed. So if you find maybe all that you need in life, maybe it's a plot where you grow your murenda.
Clearly, the passion keeps speaking.
I'm very interested. That murenda is quite interesting. It's hard to grow though.
Really?
Maybe a house to live in.
Yeah.
Maybe a plot where you can put up some apartments. Yeah. And you'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
So what do I need in life? And then what will I trade if I fight with this person for 10 years?
Imagine.
By the way, litigation affects your health. Family litigation will affect your health. I can guarantee you, and I'm not a doctor.
Are you serious?
Because I have seen it. Blood pressure, depression,
Oh no.
that whole line. So what will you be trading? You know, when you're in a fight, you rehearse the battle every day. You narrate it to people.
That's true.
I have had clients when they reach the reception, whoever receives them, they receive the briefing. You know, I'm here because my whatever has whatever. You know, why? That means they are emotionally, you know, they're hurting. So what will you trade by fighting for 10 years? I can tell you what you trade, especially when it comes to property, including matrimonial property, succession, maneno. You will trade your health.
Oh my goodness.
Then you will trade the quality of your life. You'll be drafting affidavits, replying affidavits, submissions. So it means it's taking away from your business time.
That's true.
Your professional time. You're not improving yourself. Your focus is so taken by the fight.
Yeah.
And then you are trading the time, you know, if I fight over a plot for 10 years, well, I could have actually negotiated for half that plot and gotten it in the first year. It means I could be farming there, I could have farmed there for 10 years.
I see you.
Or I would have put up an apartment, block of apartments. For that 10 years, how much would I have earned? And you know, you can do 10 years in court and a notice of appeal is filed. The day you are celebrating judgment,
that you're done.
I have won. Notice of appeal. Ta-da! Now we head to court of appeal and you kill another 2 years, 3 years. They are trying, they are pushing, but the cases are so many. You know the state of, you saw the state of our judiciary.
Too much.
So what am I trading? For me, that's why they say sometimes a bad settlement is better than a good judgment. A bad settlement. Give me that.
Let's finish.
Give me that half now.
Yeah.
Nianze kulima, nianze whatever. Because I could wait for this judgment. It may come when I'm 80. Nimezeeka hata siwezi kulima.
Sick to even enjoy that property.
Correct. And many people die in the process of a fight. I've had, I have had title deeds. By the time I'm getting them, the person is gone.
Wow. We need to take a short break. I'm listening to you and I'm like, the wisdom that is coming out, you know, we would expect you to just be telling us, bring the cases, bring all of them, we want to. But you're coming off as one who thinks the best way to go about it would even be mediation, consider, think about what you're putting on the table. We will be right back, but let's allow us to take a short break. This is SISTA Talk, and just keep talking to us on our social media handles, but we are taking a short break, but we'll be right back after the break.
Good marketing makes the company look smart. Great marketing makes the customer feel smart. Are you looking for a place to advertise your upcoming conference, church meeting, or ladies' meeting? Look no further. Elevate TV is offering you a chance to advertise from as low as 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Talk to us today. Call us on 0705 872237.
Welcome back. It's such an honor and a privilege to have you. I mean, if you have been listening into the first part of this conversation, you're like me wondering, okay, that's a lawyer, that's someone who should be telling us run to court, but there is wisdom that is just coming forth. And we thank God that we can talk to Christian lawyers, to people who are believers and have seen the need to incorporate their faith even in what they do and just see wisdom around that. So if in case you're joining us, please, if you missed the first part of this conversation, we'll be on YouTube, but Elevate TV Kenya, just look for us on SISTA Talk and I'm sure you will learn so much so far. So welcome back, Anne. I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, wow, you should be telling us, no, come very fast, bring those cases. But there is peace, and there is hope, and there is wisdom.
I didn't say we don't charge fees. Don't get me wrong. we are charging fees because even to do mediation, to do negotiations, you still charge fees.
Yeah.
It may end up being less fee than if you if you litigated up to the Court of Appeal. But hey, you set the client free to go trade. But you also get your fees now, as opposed to 10 years from now. Remember, there's inflation also.
10 years from now, it will not be as meaningful as it is now. All right, help us. I think there's a part you've mentioned a lot about children being involved, because family law, I mean, most of the time, there are children involved. Could you just, I don't know whether it will be educate us or enlighten us, just to know what are the things that we need to know about children, or are there laws that protect them, so that as we come looking for justice, you know, what should we have at the back of our minds as parents, as families, you know, what should we know, or what should we understand?
Number one, I think we need to drop the term burden. I have heard people say, I have a burden of 2 children.
Oh my God.
No, children are not a burden. Children are a blessing. It is so in the scripture. It is so in our culture. And in reality, children bring us a lot of joy. Of course, there are some children causing a lot of pain, but children really are a blessing. So, because the right perspective is important. The other thing we need to know, though children are dependent on us, is not for life. Surprisingly, I think there are situations where parents will depend on their children more than the children will depend on their parents. Yeah. Because children depend on us up to the age of 20, 21, 22. And with technology, I hear, you know, I'm not good in that area. If they develop some packages, they could make a lot of money by the time they're 15, 16.
So true.
They become independent very early.
Yeah.
And then God gives Mzee ama mama up to live for long.
Yeah.
So you find the role switching, 50 and above, 60. By the time you get to 70, nani anakupeleka hospitali?
Yeah, true. It's your daughter.
And some cases, actually, who is paying bills? So who will be a dependent of the other longer? And sometimes, actually, we go all the, if you're blessed to do 90, 92, mtoto yako atakuwa akitembea na wewe sana. In fact, some parents move to the home.
Arms of the children, yes.
So, remember, the Bible says, whatever a man soweth, the same shall he reap. So, don't avoid, evade, you know, hide, because we've acted for, I won't say men, I'll say parents, because parental responsibility is shared. So there are some people who are running away from the responsibility. I have even seen some people quit jobs so that salary is not attached. The spirit should be ile ingine. I don't have enough, but I want to do a lot for my kids.
Wow.
I want them to go to a better school. So God give me money.
Yes.
Multiply my income so that I'm able to take care of my kids better. Na hii kulialia sina pesa. If you go to the children's court, you'd think everybody is so
no
poor.
Money.
Is that so? It's not so. Sina pesa. Unaweza lipa 5,000. Hapana. But some people are driving into court.
Yeah.
They are living well.
Yeah.
How do they make it? So I think we need to get our philosophy right.
Good one.
So the point there is children are not a burden. Number two, we may be the dependents of our children longer. So I only have those days, those years, to maintain my kids. But forget about money. Let's go to relationship, because it is more important than money. The relationship I create with my children, the first 10 years thereabout, it could be the one, the quality is what I'll live with mpaka kule. Some people do such silly things between 1 and 10, even undoing will be difficult. That's why we have counselors very busy, psychologists, church, kuongea na kanisa. If parents took their responsibilities seriously, we would have less of this.
Wow.
So, relationships, matamushi, even the cases we are dealing with, we hear people saying what they were told by their father. 20 years down the road, 30 years. So let's be very careful now, because if we don't panda mbegu mzuri, pariria, weka mbolea, this relationship could be bent for life.
It's true.
But it's not just a relationship which is bent, it's also the child himself may be bent for life. But guess what? Parents can also be bent. And in old age, bending is breaking.
Yeah.
Children at least are more flexible.
Yeah.
So some people are dying in pain because they no longer have a relationship with their children. They cannot, even when they are in need, the children are hesitant. Or the barrier is so big, it's hard to relate. So, magonjwa nyingi. Yeah, we need to do the right thing and treat it with a lot of caution. These are very delicate relationships. Whether you are staying together, whether you are not staying together, it is the same. Parental responsibility is shared, and it is the child who has a right. Now, what issues do we deal with in terms of, or may I say before I go to the issues that we deal with every day, it is the right of the child to relate with both parents. It is not the right of the parent. If you read Article 53, it is children who have a right.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's good to know.
So I cannot come to say, I don't want him to relate with the child, or, you know, vice versa. It's not about you. It's about the child. And since the child has not been asked, and let me tell you, if you ask children, most likely they would want to relate with both parents. Except where either they have had a very bad experience with the parent, or they've been poisoned
by the other parent.
So it's very important to understand we deal with children's rights, not, okay, they are also parents' rights. Children, by the way, have responsibilities, but they are fewer than ours. The things we deal with is, number one, legal custody. Legal custody is the ability or the right to make decisions. Which school? Which, should they travel outside jurisdiction? Medical care, which doctor, should they do the surgery or not? Key decisions. Ordinary should be joint. And it's based on the law, but also the understanding that if we have two parents who love the kids, they are likely to confer and come up with a better product than one person making unilateral decisions.
That's true.
But it's also housed in this understanding. If parents are sharing responsibility, then they have to share decision-making process.
That's true.
If I am paying fees, it cannot just be you deciding the school.
That's true.
We have seen people who change the child. So you move from where fee is 20,000, you put a child in 100,000 fee. Then unatuma email, lipa hapa. You are setting yourself for a fight. Number one, this is a parent. He should have known or she should have known. By the way, it can go either way.
Really?
Yes. And if you expect me to cooperate in this journey, then I have to be consulted. Yes. So, and then it's not just payment. Even in school, the school participation, Parents' Day, nakadhalika, parents' consultation meeting. It would be good if daddy and mommy come.
That's true.
Na tuone, oh, haka chiki mads, tutafanya nini? As a team. So, legal custody, it's ordinarily joint, only in circumstances where you're able to show the other person is always pulling down. So, we are always trying to move to a better school. Lakini huyo anataka ya shilingi 5, if a free one, if possible. Free can be good if it's sponsored, but I mean, every place we are paying fees. And then the second thing is care and control. Care and control is the possession of the child, the better time of the month, the week. It's the past parent who give the child home. If a bus driver asks, unakaa wapi? The child should not be stranded. Oh, mimi nakaa hapa. Lakini nakaa hapa. So if the bus driver will ask, so leo tunaenda wapi?
There are 2 or 3 homes.
Because they have this one and that. The child should be able to say, I stay here, but I visit there. So the parent who stays with the child is the one who has what we call care and control. It's no longer a gender issue. It is more of best interest of the child. Between these two parents, who can take care of the child better? So we look at you, Nenoh. Are you available? Are you working with the child spiritually, academically, all round? Are you moral uprightness? What are you teaching the child? You see? So we look at the two and we see which one. It's no longer a mother. So, mtoto mnipatie. No, because of Article 27 of the Constitution. There is equality on all areas. But also the realization, the fact that a mother doesn't necessarily mean I'm a better parent.
That's for sure.
They are very good fathers in this city.
Very true.
So sometimes I see people taking a very skewed position. It is wrong. The fact is, I can be a good daddy. You can be a good mom. So it is a battle of goodness.
That's true.
So all of us should be fighting to be better in this one. But hey, you can also have shared care and control. But we don't like situation where that you have the week 50, you're here, 50, no, the child is always on the, packing all the time and moving. It is not good for a child.
For the child, yes.
Yeah, but that is care and control. Then the big thing which people always run to is maintenance. But sorry, before I go to maintenance, the parent who doesn't have care and control gets access. Okay. Access is a right of the child to relate with the other parent. Time. It's about
dad, and you said it's not gender.
It's not gender. This access should be qualitative and quantitative.
Oh wow.
Enough. You can't create a relationship with a person if you only see them once in a month. So I've met people who want to measure access like nidawa. But if it is good, ipatianwe kwa wingi kama machungwa, you know, mrenda. Vegetables.
She says mrenda.
If vegetables are good for you, for someone, you can't say, no, you'll only be eating one orange in 2 weeks. Why? If I can eat an orange every day. If the relationship is good, we give qualitative and quantitative.
Wonderful.
And it is a duty of the parent who has access to make it
qualitative.
Qualitative. Don't take a child and dump the child in Shosho's place.
Yes.
You know, your sister's place. Then you go for football.
That's true.
Or if you are a mama, mtoto anakaa huko anakaa. It should be our time.
That's true.
It's our time to do nice things. This is a good time to play games together, you know, like, you know, tunacheza kwa nyumba. Ile tunacheza, you know, tuende tucheze some. Inaitwaje hii?
Tennis?
Tennis. No, that's true. Let's go to the mall to see what is there. Na ukiingia kwa mall, weka something in the bag, mtoto aende arudi naye, you know, akirudi. Not meanness. Let the child see we are real. We are generous. Children learn what they see. If they see meanness, they will be mean. If they see generosity, they will be generous. So it should be such nice time that the child will look forward to. Not where we have to, you have to go be with your father. Now it sounds like duty. And who wants duty?
No one.
And by the way, kids don't like duty. Now I have to go. So the next thing they'll say, they'll do, I don't want to go. They'll say they don't want to go. It becomes such a big headache. So the person who has a child has the duty at least to nudge the child to go. Release the child and let the child know, I'm here because, you know, because the other parent has set me free. The one receiving should
do their best.
That doesn't mean children are on junk the whole weekend, because we know parents who do junk. I think in the desire to woo the child,
you spoil them.
Anakula pizza. Akimaliza pizza, ice cream. Chapa ice cream. Then you know, do you know what we'll be doing on Monday? The other parent will be queuing.
I tell you.
Kukohoa, alikula ile. There is a one which looks like cotton wool. I think it sold it.
Marshmallow.
No, there's one
that looks like cotton candy.
So they'll come happy with the tongue pink. But hey, that is Saturday. By the time we get to Sunday evening, so the parent receiving, try and balance things. I know you have little time, so you really want to create an impression. So we can allow maybe one item, but it cannot be junk through and through. True. And partner in health. The Ministry of Health should not be compromised. So the last thing is maintenance.
Maintenance. Woo.
Maintenance is about money. And it's the one I started with, and I said, don't throw away the vision you have of your child. When you're getting a child, what vision did you have?
Wow.
A surgeon? I'm not going to drop it because the other person has dropped it.
That's true.
Carry the vision.
Wow.
So if both of us did it, we will be fighting over, it is here. You know, I have acted for men. It's not, because sometimes there is this misconception that men are always pushing down.
That's true.
I have acted for men who want to push up.
Wow.
I want my child to be in an international school.
Come on.
That's the hundreds of thousands. I want to pay that.
Wow.
Because they want the child to have this exposure.
That's good.
They want, you know, they have their reasons and they are pushing. So I think that is the right mentality. But hey, at the end of the day, we have to deal with shillings. What is the law? Sorry for women. It is equal duty to maintain the children.
You're serious?
Yes, read Article 53.
I need to get the whole constitution.
Read the new Children's Act. We have a new
Wow.
Children's Act. Very clear. It has embraced Article 53.
Wow.
So it is not where we used to think men should
Must
maintain.
provide everything.
No, no, the language changed. And I guess women are in shock.
Of course.
Why fight for equality? Equality will also fight you. At least it has beaten us
That's
on
true.
this one of
Wow.
maintenance. Because the duty is with both. But hey, let's embrace the word equitable as opposed to equal.
Quality.
Because the reality of our situation is that in many setups, one has more.
More, yeah.
So if you have more, put more.
Wow.
The other one, and by the situation could change, the other one could get more.
Yeah.
So let us come up with a good culture. Yeah? Have you ever
this
gone for a harambe? People are fighting.
Tuongeze hapo.
Tuongeze.
Tuwasindikize.
This is how maintenance should be.
Wow.
You know, sukuma.
Wow.
Why? If you don't pay fees, ukifika 20 years, no, inaanza hata 15. Mtoto sasa is always being sent away from school.
Imagine.
The child now has become hurt.
Yeah.
Why am I always sent away?
Away from school.
And then the child now has learned, I'm sent away from school because Nani doesn't pay. Now this bitterness and
towards the parents.
yes, so and then you start having problems which money cannot solve.
Yeah.
Do you know there are problems money cannot solve? There are people who've gone for counseling. Some have even gone outside the country, even for rehab. You cannot solve these problems with shillings. Well, pounds, dollars,
Whichever.
whatever.
Currency.
It is true because the injury is so deep.
much.
Some people resort to, I'm not saying the people who, the kids resorting to drugs are necessarily the ones who have this problem. But some. There are many reasons why people go to these things. I wouldn't want my child to go to them, and yet I had ability. I have some news. There are people who walked away and left burden with one parent. And the parent carried the burden. Oh, sorry, it's not a burden.
Yeah, the blessing.
See, I'm also a victim. They took the responsibility. They educated the children. I am full of testimonies of how, I mean, your kids have studied, they've got these international jobs.
Yeah.
They are blowing good money.
Imagine.
How will I feel if I'm the parent
Who abandoned.
Yes. And then you are busy buying, you didn't pay fees, but you bought plots. You buy plots. By the way, these plots are stolen, quite a number of instances. So you could put your money where it is stolen.
Yeah, kanka.
That's why now I also do land cases.
You have many opportunities in one family.
So, and then you may be left with your land and nobody is interested in it. You'll be surprised how there are many families, property is not the problem. The problem is working as a team to enjoy the property.
Oh no.
Yes, there are many people with goats, many goats, but they have no chance to meet and kula a goat over Christmas.
Oh no.
Because they can't sit together.
Oh, no.
So goats are just walking around.
They are being eaten by neighbors.
I'd rather a family with 3 goats. And Christmas,
Nathan in the Bible.
tutakula hii.
Tukule hiyo moja.
Tutachinja, tutafurahi.
said
There are
it.
people with money but are very unhappy. Let us not over-glorify money because it does not restore families.
Preach. No, you said it.
Because I see so much focus. That's why I put maintenance at the end. If you keep putting it in front, people think raising children is all about money. No. In fact, children will not need your money at a certain age. Hakuna. What is necessary for life is relationship. And that's why on the deathbed, when someone is 85, 86, whatever, it is not about wealth, it's about people. But we got to start at the base. Succession. I haven't mentioned succession.
Imagine in closing. Because I feel like now we need to do it in 2 parts. But yes, tell us something about succession that we need to go home with as you close.
I'm cutting all this. It's a sister talk, so the focus is women.
Yes. But you're helping us.
Yeah, there are things to do with matrimonial property, by the way.
Yeah.
Just in passing.
But let's hint at succession because I just want to
Okay,
listen and
if we
listen.
have few minutes, then we go succession.
Yeah.
The paradox of life is you came with nothing you acquire something, you live with nothing. So everybody here has life interests of everything.
Yeah.
You only need it for life.
Yeah.
So please kindly pass it while you still have energy, when you are able to understand what document you are signing. Do succession planning. Are you the person who gives in lifetime? It's fine. Kuna watu wanagawanya kwa maisha. But wanaacha pale yuko, you don't want to gawana however you are, then you are evicted. So
at least remain with that part.
No, you're not being left with where you'll be buried because this is 6 feet. You need to plant murenda. So
This is Mbugua.
So you need to think succession because it is inevitable. And nobody needs property in the grave. So pass it in your lifetime.
Wow.
You can do so in your peana ukiwa moyo. You can do a will.
Wow.
You can create a trust. Put your property under trust. Say who will govern the trust, etc.
So why do you need a lawyer?
You need in succession to guide you in this process.
Okay.
But I think we need to talk about, we have talked about the philosophy. It is life interests.
Wow.
One, let me just deal with philosophy, not the law.
Okay.
Do not leave, if you are a parent, do not leave any child out. Your will be contested. And because a child is in second line of inheritance, if you leave them, it's a good ground to nullify your will.
What?
Or create provision for them.
Interesting. Okay.
Number two, you do a will when you have mental capacity. Don't wait for ICU, where people will be looking for every doctor who ever attended you to show you didn't have capacity, because the will is being challenged. Yes. Do it in good time.
Wow.
By the way, you can keep renewing your will every time you acquire, you dispose. Make it easy, and doing a will doesn't mean you are dying.
Wow.
You know, that's the thinking. They come and ninaenda.
I was going to ask.
So by the way, we keep amending, we keep updating.
So when should we start? At 50?
When you get something. Whenever you get something.
Even a car.
Let me ask you, do you read our newspapers?
Yes.
What are people fighting over?
That's true.
Hata gari watu watachapana. Hata manguo tunachapana. Kabla tuende kwa ile tunachapana kabisa ni shamba. If you have something which can be disposed, you can pass it.
Okay.
You need to do so.
Okay.
If you do a will before you are married, please, may you know it will be nullified by marriage.
Oh, right.
Why? Because marriage creates a first line beneficiary, which is the spouse.
Your spouse.
So don't say, oh, ila nilifanya. Quickly, if you got married recently, kimbia sana Monday, ndio
adjust. Amend.
Do not put in your will jointly owned property, because by land laws, they belong to the other person 100% when you're gone.
Oops.
So don't put properties which are joint.
Yeah.
They are not available for your, bequests.
Yeah.
No discrimination on gender basis. Read Article 27 of our Constitution.
We have said 27. Please get that.
Inheritance.
Yeah.
It is something which passed. It's people voted, of course, 70% voted for the Constitution, which means, well, I assume they had read that clause. So these stories we used to hear in court. Muko wangapi? Watatu. Mama yenyu alikuwa na watoto wangapi? Watano. Ala, wawili wako wapi? Waliolewa. Wao ni wasichana na waliolewa. Hiyo hakuna.
Sisters, no.
The right to inherit is equal.
Yes, that's true.
And I always say, don't be at pain with this, because your daughter carries your DNA just like your son.
That's true.
But also there is folly in giving your sons and leaving your daughters for a very simple reason. If you give property to your son, you've given your daughter-in-law. So your daughter-in-law will have all the property and your daughter is suffering. What would you call that except, I was about to use a harsh word, lack of wisdom.
That's true.
There is no wisdom in it. And then let's be honest, this whole thing of, and I am not against any gender.
Yeah.
Because, and law should be fair to all. Even the thinking which used to inform this, that it's my son who will bury me, it's not there.
It's not working.
Just go to hospitals and check who is coming in with mommy and daddy. It is son
Or
but also
daughter.
daughter.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So even that one would, though I don't think it is repaying them, well, it shouldn't ordinarily be, but gender parity. If you leave your children, the will be contested.
That's true.
However, you don't have the duty to equalize. So you can give one this
I
one
see what you mean.
and the other one that one.
Okay.
How about Sumbua? Sumbua is a child.
In closing, we need to hear Sumbua, then we close.
Sumbua is a child. So don't leave Sumbua. Maybe Sumbua put that, that plot with rocks. But you see, Sumbua can also mine the stones. So it's still something.
Just find something for Sumbua.
Yeah, be fair. Who can be, you have to appoint an executor who immediately kicks in after your death to manage your property. If you don't do a will, people start, the first fight is who will take letters of administration. So there's a lot of wisdom in getting an executor, doing a will, appointing an executor, because they kick in immediately after death. So your estate does not go to waste.
Nice.
Yeah.
What? Is it just me? Thank you so much, Mbugua. I mean, I feel like on behalf of sisters who are watching, the Sister Talk crew, we feel the need, to just gain that wisdom early and apply it, whether it's succession, whether it's how we handle our children. I like what are you willing to trade? I think for me that just seals it. Whether I'm handling my children, my family, my marriage, my property,
it's always a trade.
What are we willing
to trade?
Thank you so much. May God continue to bless you, to bless your practice, to bless your clients, to bless everything that involves. And the Mrenda,
Bless Mrenda.
So that has been Sister Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. If you wish to watch and rewatch, just go on YouTube or Facebook. You should be able to watch this episode. But for now, it is God bless you and see you next time.